In a land where cacti outnumber cell towers and the horizon stretches further than a fiber optic cable, it's time for Valley's Bits, Bytes and Banter, the podcast that looks a bit behind the scenes of a broadband provider, takes a big bite out of the tech world, and serves up a healthy dose of banter with people in our community. And now, without further ado, here's your host, Bob Dahlstrom.
Hello, everybody. Once again, you're listening to Valley's Bits, Bytes, and Banter, the podcast I do with my co-host and partner in crime, Ralph Score. Ralph, how are you?
Bob, I'm good, man.
I'm good. Hey, guys, in case you didn't know, we're on location. We'll tell you about that in a little bit here. You hear the noise in the background, but it's great to bring another episode to you guys. And if you haven't yet, if this is your first time checking out our podcast, we appreciate that. Thank you very much. Be sure to download, subscribe, share, like, and check out all the other episodes we have too, and great guests we've had on our show today, no exception. Somebody who's been here before, almost an encore episode, whatever you want to call it. We're excited to be back.
Yeah, it's coming back around.
Yeah, that's right. Go to podbean.com, check out all our episodes there. It's where they're hosted. Yeah. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on vtc.net/blog, or pretty much wherever you get your podcasts.
About 25 different outlets now is where we're at.
We're everywhere.
Apple,
we're
Spotify,
international.
iHeart. Yeah, we're in 25 different countries.
We are. It's great, right, guys. We appreciate that very much. And we always love getting together and getting out in our communities when we get the chance to talk to people out in our community, interesting guests that we have. And like I said, today we have a very interesting guest, somebody we love to talk to, and we'll get more into that in a minute, Ralph.
Yeah.
But what did you bring today?
Well, I got a little bit of stuff. This is from NTCA. This is about Universal Service Fund, of course, which we know there's been a lot about that in the news as far as, because that's probably what that has a lot to do with funding what we get for putting in broadband in rural areas.
And customers will usually see that on their bill, the USF or Universal Service Fund charge.
So NTCA, which is the Rural Broadband Association, kind of our lobbying group in that, they've given some recommendations to the FCC. And Shirley Broomfield basically says that serving deeply rural areas requires a focus both on deploying broadband networks and maintaining and sustaining them. So the high cost of USF, if provided sufficient and predictable funding levels, is the only initiative designed to tackle the foundational universal service goals of availability, affordability, and sustainability and scalability. And of course, I did that big broadband tour here in New Mexico recently.
Right, with all the congressional
staffers that
came along. What a tremendous opportunity.
And it was really for them to see what the need is in even some of the schools we visited and some of the smaller communities, and how hard it is to get it into some of these places. And we're involved in that right now because we're building out a big area here in the Animas area.
Yeah, and I want to give you a shout out, Ralph, because Ralph, he was asked to follow the group throughout the state of New Mexico for like a week and record the visits, record what they learn, and get sound bites from them, and somehow you've got to corral all that, produce that, and put it all into videos, which we're excited to get to see at some point.
Yeah.
We'll be sure to be watching for those guys on our social media and our website.
Yeah. But I'm going to switch gears now to some school days trivia, and I'm going to bring in our guest for some of these because I've got some questions since he's a great educator, Jeff Gephart. Anyway, our first question, trivia question, is what term describes the fear of going to school?
Anxiety?
It's actually,
that's what I call it.
Didascaleniophobia is what it's called.
So that was going to be my next guess.
Yeah.
Certainly. Yes.
Okay, here's one now. Each graphite pencil has enough graphite to draw a line how many miles long? And I don't know if this is a number 2 or a number 1, but
I'm going to say 2 miles.
35 miles.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah. Yep. Okay,
I was thinking 5, maybe.
How many teachers are there currently teaching in the U.S.?
That's a tough. 100,000.
8 million.
8 million in the U.S.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And this one is really more for, like, I think this is a kindergarten teacher answer, so this should be easy. Okay. What's the most popular color of Crayola crayon?
Red.
Blue. Because they do a lot of sky, right?
Oh, there you go. There you go.
That makes total sense now.
And then finally, in what country are all students age 6 and up taught chess as part of their curriculum?
I know this one. I just I think it's in Southeast Asia.
It's actually Armenia.
Armenia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, and that's
I just
don't know how to
saw an
play
article
chess.
about that. I just saw an article about that, so I should have known that one.
Yeah.
The other one's not a clue. 8
Yeah.
million teachers.
8 million teachers. It's amazing. So.
Well, I am older than 6, and I still don't know how to play chess. I've never actually sat down and learned. I would love to do that sometime.
I was
need
in
to
the
do that.
chess club when I was in 5th grade, and I
Really?
left it there.
Well, I'd like to say, or like to think that while a lot of other people in this world are playing checkers, here at Animas Public Schools, we're playing chess.
Hey.
I'll bet.
Oh, I like that.
So along with debate, along with the legal argument club and everything that goes with it,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, I think we're going to do a quick commercial break and then get back into this.
Yeah, gang, we're excited to be out here on location. We're going to tell you all about it after this quick timeout.
Hey, are you playing Fortnite?
Yeah.
Let's go, man. I'm gonna beat you so bad.
You know I could go pro if I wanted to. You do not stand a chance. Besides, we always just play against each other.
Yeah, that's true.
We need to find more people to play with.
Hey, Valley Telecom has the Fiber Gaming Network, an online community where we can compete in tournaments and win real prizes, or just meet new gamers and participate in casual game nights.
Whoa, that's so cool. But how much does it cost?
It's actually free. Valley Telecom is providing this to their community at no charge. We just go to vtc.net/gaming and sign up.
Wow, that's so awesome. Now I can show everyone I'm the best.
Get in the game with a fiber gaming network powered by Valley Telecom. Go to vtc.net/gaming to sign up today. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Valley's Bits, Bytes, and Banter, the podcast I do along with my co-host and partner in crime, Ralph Score. And as we mentioned in the previous segment, and you could tell from the unusual noise in the background, we don't always have a lot of noise in the background. We do our podcast. We're on location today.
Yeah. And guess where we are?
We're in Animas, and we're in Animas, New Mexico at the Animas High School, Animas Schools. And we're out here at the cafetorium right now, and all the kids are enjoying lunch. And it looks good. I'm telling you, it makes me hungry.
Best cafeteria food this side of the Mississippi.
It's amazing.
I eat it every day.
It's amazing looking at. And ladies and gentlemen, we have back, returning to our podcast, is the Animas Superintendent, Jeff Gephart. Jeff, how are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I kind of feel like the Steve Martin of Saturday Night Live. I'm the Steve Martin of this
Yes.
podcast, right?
You're the two-timer club right now. That's
it,
right.
I think
Yeah.
he did 16 times he hosted, and
Yeah.
I'm on number 2.
Number 2 and counting, right? Back in May last year is when we had you on. Can you believe it's been that long?
Oh, wow.
I looked that up to make sure I was right, but it was May of last year that we had you on and talked about the programs you've been instilling in the schools, in high school and middle school, and all that we talked about. So.
And you all were just starting the podcast at that time, so you guys, it seems like you guys are rocking and rolling. You're getting it off the ground here, and
We are.
I think you were our second guest.
Second
Our first one was
episode.
our CEO.
And now we're in the 30s.
but he doesn't count. So.
Yeah, I'm sure he felt obligated to do it. Like, he had no choice. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But Jeff, we said even in that episode, way back in number 2, that we said we wanted to follow up and sit down with you because you guys had a lot of things happening out here that was revolutionizing public education down here in Animas and the things you guys had going on. So how is that going now? It was towards the end of last school year when we talked to you, and now you're rolling into another year. How we doing? How are things going?
I think at that time you hadn't launched the high school program yet.
Right. So our new slogan for this year is "Catch the wave and conquer the day." Animas Public Schools, where learning fuels adventure.
Ooh,
Right?
man,
Is
I
that
like
cool
that.
or what? And
That
look,
is
I even
very
have
cool.
I have the shirt that goes with the slogan here, the Panther,
School
Hawaiian
colors.
shirt, right?
Love
So
it.
there you go. And
Love it.
And we're at this point, it's not riding a wave or being passive. It's about getting out there and catching that big wave and riding it. And proud to say that we're rocking and rolling right now. Kept in touch with a lot of our recent graduates, and they're doing great out there, which is
awesome.
Always important. And so the early college high school program is really taken off. Our work-based learning component of that, we have a lot of students getting high school credit, working everywhere from Western Bank to Hidalgo Medical Services to the tire shop to Plius Research Center. They're getting paid, they're getting high school credit, they're getting real-world experience, and everything's linked to their degree plans and the careers that they're exploring or pursuing. And so real proud of where we're at.
That's impressive. I mean, you guys are really launching, and the students obviously are supporting the program. They're bought into it, right? They're believing.
I really think so. I had a kid come up to me the other day and a little while back anyway, and just say, thank you. And I said, for what? And he said, for everything. And
no kidding.
So, and you don't usually get that from kids, and you don't always. I don't always get that from kids, right? Which is why it made it kind of nice. And
yeah.
So but even our middle school program that feeds into our high school program, the staff has really helped build out this program where our middle school kids start figuring out who they are, what they want to be, what their interests are. They're taking everything from archery class to STEM challenge to robotics to 3D printing to culinary arts to art. There's 12 different electives these kids are taking, 12 different programs, all to help kids, try to figure out who they are and what they want to be. Creates that future focus and leads right into our high school program.
That's fantastic. I know, like Ralph was mentioning, you mentioned you launched it in the middle school to get it started. And how's that going with the middle school kids?
It's great. Our capstone project that the students work on at the end of the year has turned into a whole big thing. The current crop of 8th graders are already looking forward to it. They're already picking out their walk-up music. And again, our entire middle school program helps them figure out who they are and what they want to be. And so ultimately, they already have a pretty good idea of, hey, I think I want to do this when I grow up. I think I might want to do that. Knowing they're going to change their mind, but they know they're going to be something.
Right.
And that's half the battle.
Well, getting them even to think about that, like you said, and developing a plan, working towards that at that age. And again, I from all the things I ever wanted to be when I was a kid, I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to be a superhero. And as you get older, you realize, okay, maybe some of those things aren't really achievable, but there are some things that you can learn and build on with those that may take you into the actual career you end up on. So it's good to give kids a starting block where they can start.
Yeah, I know. I saw Smokey and the Bandit when I was a kid. I wanted to be a truck driver for the next 10 years. And so, I in fact, just the other day, I had a student, I'm looking around, and, here you go. Kendall, come here. Come here. You need to meet Kendall Rayner. Kendall, pull up a microphone here.
Hi, Kendall. Have a seat right there. How are you? You can adjust that up and down if you need to.
Say hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Kendall, I want you to tell you, they were just talking about how students oftentimes, they don't know necessarily what they want to do, but that they want to be something. And so Kendall came up to me the other day and we were talking. I think it was in my office there. And she wasn't in the office for being in trouble. She kind of stopped in and we were talking a little. And Kendall's great. She's my egg salesperson. She's my egg dealer and everything else. And I've known her for like 6 years. I've helped raise her. And Kendall, what did you tell me you think you might want to be when you grow up? Now that you're almost grown up, what would you say you want to do?
An ultrasound tech or something in the medical field.
Really? You thought that far into it? And what grade are you in this year?
I'm a junior, but I'm going to graduate early.
Very good.
So she's earned all the credits, and she, for the longest time, didn't really want to do those types of things, didn't want to go to college, and which is fine. I'm not the kind of guy that pushes people into college. She's going to make a bunch of money doing whatever she is, or whatever she wants to do, whether she's what do we say?
Ultrasound tech.
No, I'm talking before that, a girl with a truck and her animal. She's going to be making more money than me having that business. That's just who she is. But now that she's going, and she took all these credits and she's been taking college courses, and she sprung that on me the other day, and it kind of brought a tear to my eye because that's kind of what we're trying to do is whatever you want to do, you're going to be the best at it. And if you decide to change your mind, you're going to have all the opportunity in the world because of our programming. And she's a perfect example of that. And so we're going to rename our early college high school program after you, Kendall.
Oh, yay. Look at me
that.
go.
Yeah. You're already making a difference. Look at that. Nice job, Kendall. That's great. I mean, the medical field, they need people. They need there's great opportunities everywhere in that field. So I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Good for you. And with an aging population, the ultrasound thing is really important because of cardiovascular disease and the stuff that we find as far as venous and all that stuff for early diagnosis, and that's really important.
So, wait. Why'd you look at me when you said aging population? And so, but that's another reason I promote the medical field with all these guys. I'm going to have a team of nurses and ultrasound technicians, all these people taking care of me as I get old.
Well, you said everybody else is playing checkers. You're playing chess. You're not kidding. That's right.
Thank you, Kendall. I appreciate it.
Thanks for sharing with us, Kendall. Appreciate it. That's awesome. That's a great example.
Oh,
of that.
And you know, I could look around and I could bring just about every student up here right now, and it's not just a brag. I'm really proud of it because. You know, I hear about the problems with graduation rates and things like that, and I think sometimes what we forget about when it comes to those types of things is it's not just about dragging kids through school. And don't get me wrong, there were plenty of days I had to drag Kendall to school. And Carrie, if you're listening out there, I love you and I love Kendall, but there were plenty of days that I had to drag her to school. But it's about that future focus. And when they are just learning English in isolation or math in isolation, and they don't see the purpose behind it and how it could help them get to where they want, and not even know that there's something out there that they could do. Right?
Yeah.
That's something I think oftentimes we forget about in public education. We made it a focus here in Animas.
That's fantastic. You're right. Not every kid goes to college, and there are many ways, many paths you can take to be successful in life. There's not just one. You know that. And the kids all take that. So I think giving them the knowledge and opportunity and making them build that goal in their mind and how they're going to achieve it is so important. So important.
And our career exploration course, I just saw one of the teachers who teaches it. She just left, but that's a middle school program that we have. And tomorrow, they're actually even taking the entire middle school up to the Border Patrol. They've met with, I believe they've met with military to learn about military careers. They've had a number of different organizations come in, and we're also taking field trips. So these kids are exposed to all these opportunities at a younger age. And I'll never forget when I first started this program that I took a group of seniors to New Mexico State, and one of the kids who never really put a lot of effort into school, and I was one of those kids when I was younger, so I know.
Weren't we all?
Right? And so we were at New Mexico State, and he said, if I would have known about these programs or something like this, I probably would have tried harder in school. And so that stuck with me. So you have to start young, whether it's at the elementary level or middle school level, and that's what we're doing.
I think it's really important that you're actually getting them into these environments too, so it's not just something you're telling them about. You know what I mean? They get to see it in action. They get to see what the other people are doing. It gives them a different viewpoint than just hearing about it or someone just lecturing them on, well, here's a career field you could go into.
And do you remember knowing everything back when you were a teenager?
Of course I did.
And
sure.
Do you remember how stupid your teachers were in your mind? I know they weren't.
Right.
So,
no, you was like, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you nailed it. We could tell them and I know one of the things I think you'd be bringing up is vaping, and we could sit there and tell them over and over how bad it is until they learn about it, until they are exposed to something that shows them it's bad. They oftentimes don't listen, and so that's one of the things that in fact, that's a big focus of what we're doing this year. Is we don't want public school to be done to the kids. We want the kids to be a part of this, and all too often, ever since No Child Left Behind, public school is just done to them. Well, we want them to take more of an initiative, whether it's our vaping initiatives or just anything that we're doing right now. We want them to be more a part of it.
They get to take ownership of it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Like you said, anything you take ownership in, then you're vested in it, and usually you get more out of it.
Well,
when
you know
do
that I think that helps down in the career path too. When you get out in the working field, when you start, instead of just being an employee, you become a part of the system. You know?
And so we, one of the, I have I don't know if I want to call it an initiative, but I know the kids get a little tired of me always harping on healthy lifestyles and what they're putting in their body right now, whether it's energy drinks or vapes and so to that point about the kids taking more ownership, we started the Superintendent Student Leadership Advisory Council this year. It's the Slack team, and it's a group of kids. Any kid who wants to be a part of making our school and our community even better can come in and suggest things. Perla Cuevas right there, she's taken on, she wants to put a giant A out by the football field. And so her and a couple other students they built it when they were middle schoolers. They want to put it out there. So we actually have a meeting today at 1 o'clock to discuss that. A couple students who are sitting over here, Charlie and McKenna, they said, fine, Gephart, you want us to eat healthy. Where can we get healthy snacks during the day? Let's start a snack shack. And so they are organizing the entire snack shack. And so it's student driven.
Right.
Even October 11th, I'm inviting all alumni, October 11th. A group of the Slack team members, we're heading up to the hill over here, and we're going to paint the A and put up solar lights and everything. Hasn't been done in decades, from what I understand. And the kids are doing it. And so
that's excellent.
More student ownership.
Great examples.
We have that kind of thing. We've been going through a system where we're doing a customer experience and also an employee experience. Because when the employee experience is better, it makes the customer experience better. So I think you're doing the same thing with the students. You're making their experience a whole lot different than just being lectured to here at school.
Well, and then one of them today, when we were talking about that A, said, "Oh, I want to put a big A as people are coming into Animas." I said, "So why aren't we?" And she kind of was like, well, can I? Yes, let's do this. I'll support it. Let's figure out. And they're like, well, we have to figure out how to build it. I said, we're the Animas Panthers. We're Team Panther. You telling me we can't figure that out?
That's exactly right.
Right? We're here to conquer the day, right?
You got an FFA program. They could probably got a welder on hand, So, yeah.
It's
great.
It's just a problem to solve. And you can do that. We get enough people together in the initiative. You absolutely get it done.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Let's take our first break, and we're going to come back and talk to Mr. Jeff Gephart some more. I want to talk about Dust Bowl, a little bit about that, and the challenges you might face buying from parents, from the students at home. We'll be right back.
The endless options for streaming movies, shows, and sports can be overwhelming. Valley Telecom is here to help with Stream Now, your ultimate online reference for all things streaming. Whether you're a binge watcher or just looking for a quick episode to enjoy, we've got you covered. Discover recommendations, compare platforms, and find the best content for your favorite streaming devices. Stream Now makes it simple to get the most out of your streaming experience. Enjoy the journey of discovering your next favorite show, movie, or live event all in one place. The best part is it's free to use. Unlock the door to endless viewing possibilities by going to gostreamnow.com/VTC today.
Welcome back to Valley's Bits, Bytes, and Banter, the podcast I do with my co-host Ralph Score. And we're out here at Animas Schools talking with Superintendent Jeff Gephart. And you mentioned this in the segment at the top, Team Panther. And I'm standing here and I'm like, man, I feel like I've seen that before. Well, there's a banner hanging right there in the cafeteria. You've got a panther surfing the wave. He's catching the wave, conquering the day, where learning fuels adventure. I love that, Jeff. I love that.
And that's the catch the wave part. We actually spent a lot of time on it. The entire leadership team worked on not just riding the wave. We don't want to just ride the wave anymore. You got to go out and catch it. Like, we want everybody actively involved in what we're doing right now. And so for a while there were, you could ride the wave that we were creating. Now it's Team Panther. We're all in this, and we're all gonna, catch that wave.
Right.
You got to work for it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Speaking of catching the wave and getting everybody to catch it, one of the segments, I'm trying to think of the pillars. I don't know what it would be. That's important also are the parents. They're an important part of the school education, right? Because, I mean, the kids are immersed in it all day, and they understand it. They love it. They're doing it. But what kind of challenges are you seeing from parents when they're hearing whatever their students are bringing home, or whenever you're sharing information with them? What kind of feedback are you getting from parents on this program? Are they pretty much buying into it too?
For the most part, the community has really supported what we're doing.
Awesome.
And you know, when you're superintendent, you know, it's I forget exactly how it was worded, but it goes something like this. You know, all right, we're hiring you as superintendent. Welcome to Animas. You're now the most hated man in Animas, right? And that's like in any, not just here, but that's like being a superintendent's tough is the point I'm making.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
You make decisions, and there's going to be people who disagree with the decisions. I think if the big thing is whether it's the parents, whether it's staff members, superintendent, whomever, it's as long as we keep the kids first. And know that we're all working towards that. That's the big thing, even if we disagree on things.
Yeah.
But I've received an outpouring of support from the community that I can't thank Animas, the community of Animas, enough. The students we get from other areas, their families, the students. You know, I mentioned the one student who just kind of came up to me and thanked me, right? I can't thank the community enough for the support and the support of the school board. Right now, the average tenure for a new superintendent is about 18 months to 2 years. And so I'm on basically year 6, year
That's
6.
great.
And
That's awesome.
It's that support, and I joke oftentimes with some parents that, well, you're stuck with me now. So,
Yeah, it's too late.
And until I get retired, until they retire me. But no, I think what we're doing, the innovative opportunities that our kids get, that not all our rural New Mexico students get. I think. If nothing else, I think people appreciate that. We're doing things differently. We're individualizing everything for every student as best we possibly can, which I don't think we've done, prior. And so this is just something since COVID that we've been working on, and we had to change. We had to adapt and evolve, and I really, can't please everybody. I'm going to keep trying to, but in the end, I think overwhelmingly, I think. The community and the students support what we're doing here.
Well, and I think, to me, what I think an important part of a school, and it may sound cliche, it may sound a little oversimplistic, but is the students, keep the students first. And it sounds clearly that's what you're doing here, is the students are the priority.
You can call Jeff Gephart a lot of things, probably. But to say that I don't put the kids first, every kid, regardless of their last name, I strive to be a champion for every kid, and I expect that out of all of our staff members. Are we perfect? No. I mean, we're not. I mean, that's what we strive for. And so I think it's difficult to say we're not trying to do that at Animas Public Schools.
Yeah, I would agree, 100%. I mean, I think it's outrageously positive, the changes you've made at the school and the things that are happening, just from what I've seen on a limited basis.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think about that, Ralph. It's probably the same.
Well, I was here at the open house, and I know you talked about this being declared a Dust Bowl area, which, of course, affects students if they have to be at home and that kind of stuff. How do you deal with that? I know we're a part of that just because of what we're doing now with fiber in the area.
What exactly is that? I think first of all, explain to people. What does that mean?
Explain the Dust Bowl designation.
So what happened last year, and I've been in public education a long time, right? I mean, you referenced the aging population here already.
I'm one of them too. Just let you know.
So
we call it seasoned, though.
There you go.
Yes.
Hey, I'm working on my second half-century to-do list right now. That's the Civil War era beard that I'm growing is on my list.
It's not even you kicked the bucket on the first one, right?
Yeah, I did. So, but I know I actually have a second half-century to-do list. But that's a whole other conversation.
I like that.
I didn't have to start one of those.
That's part 3.
It's off air. I'll share with you some of them. It's going to be a fun second half-century, which means I'm going to have a third half-century. But back to the Dust Bowl. I've never experienced anything like it. When I was assistant superintendent in Santa Fe, I had to help manage the snow days, the inclement weather. If we had to send kids home early, mobilizing buses, stuff like that, which is crazy when you have 13,000 kids or something.
Insane.
Right. I'd never experienced anything like we experienced last year here when it came to weather. We had to keep an eye on the weather throughout the day because everything was so dry. And what was happening was you'd get these electrical storms that were going, and but no rain, of course.
Of course.
And you just have like this static electricity, and I'm probably saying that wrong, in the air. And the wind would pick up, and then between everything, the pressure systems and the dust would be picked up in this wind, and we'd have brownout conditions. And we had accidents out on I-10, as you know. When they closed down I-10, they divert the traffic down, or used to divert the traffic down through Animas. And so you can imagine all these truckers and everybody who are upset. They're trying to, meet their deadlines, and so they're all trying to pass each other, not stop at stop signs. Like,
right.
I have kids on the road. I have buses on the road. Right.
Wow.
It's like Mad Max
And they're
out
all
there.
like, on 9 headed towards Columbus in that area.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. They're bypassing the interstate, and so we would keep an eye on things. Mikey Sheehan, Melody O'Byrne, our principal last year, Kathy Adams. In the afternoon, oftentimes, we'd get out on the roads and see what was going on, see what the Dust Bowl conditions were like. Are we going to be able to get kids home? I can't remember exactly how it impacted us last year, but I believe we had to cancel school one day. We had to send the kids home early, I think, one day. I think we came in late one day. Like it was, and I don't have all the stats in front of me, but it was tough, and it was brownouts that caused all that.
Yeah.
And so what happened though is, as we built out our new calendar, we started looking at like, well, how do we do this in case we have these Dust Bowl conditions? How can we keep school going,
Right.
Without having to make up the days? How can we do that? So to your point about the parents and the parent support, as well as the staff too, I can't thank the staff enough. We came up with a plan. We said, well, this is what we're going to do. If we have to go remote learning because of brownouts, we're going to have things queued up. We're going to have things ready to go. We're going to have really good communication between the teachers and the parents, or at the upper grades, the high school grades, the teachers and the students.
Right.
Kids are going to know how to access the Zoom links to get online, how to access the lessons. We're going to keep it going. And but that takes a group effort. That takes support from the parents.
Yeah.
It takes the students understanding what we need to do. The staff going out of their way to do this. So that's what we're doing. And fingers crossed. I think we've gotten
Right.
enough rain. We haven't had to do that yet, but we're ready to go if we have to this spring.
That's one of those unusual challenges that, as a school district, you face that others don't.
Yeah.
It's one of those interesting challenges you have to solve, talking about how we can do this, we can do this, and you came up with a solution.
Yeah, when I was on that tour, one of the things we dealt with was Ruidoso, with what happened with the fires and the floods up there, and they were talking about the issue with some of the schools in the area and some of the small schools that maybe there's 9 students or something like that, and how it affected them as far as being ready for this kind of stuff. And I think you guys have really done a great job preparing for it.
Sure, you put the plans in place. You make sure that people are trained up, knowing that when it happens, or if it happens, hopefully it never happens, but if it happens, they're going to throw curveballs at you. Right? Mother Nature's going to throw a curveball at you, and you're going to have to, And so sometimes you have your plans in place, but you're just all going to have to know that, all right, if we get a curveball, we're going to all work together. We're going to communicate the best we possibly can and move forward.
Yeah, and that's so important. You think about it, we're an internet company, right? That's what we do. And one of the things we're doing right now is, and it's courtesy of some of the BEAD grant funding from the state and things like that, New Mexico, Arizona, where we're being able to upgrade the services we offer in certain areas. Animas is one of them. We're getting ready to do that very soon. So with the fiber, obviously, that's always one of the concerns. You're all working from home. Do I have a good enough internet connection to do my school that day? And some may have it, and some may not. And so hopefully we can, and it almost sounds a little self-serving, but that's one of the reasons we're proud of doing projects like that, is improving the quality of life in those areas for things such as healthcare, education, things like that, when those situations, if and when they come up, hopefully somehow in the background we're doing our small part to help.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
and I appreciate that, because that during COVID, that was
Oh, it was a
that
big
and the
issue.
fact that we weren't ready, like that we hadn't been using the technology in the classroom.
I don't think
Right.
many schools were ready
right.
for that.
And so between the connection at home and then the kids having to learn
Yeah.
when they weren't even on, like learn how to use the technology when they weren't even on campus, between those two things. So internet connection is really important,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
here.
But
Well,
I
such
think
an
also
unprecedented thing.
and also learning the tools, in other
Right.
words, understanding how to get into Google Classroom or whatever format you're using to access lessons.
Exactly.
Whether it's on the teaching side or on the student side, those are really vital.
Yep,
So-
yep. I remember making videos and posting them so that kids could see where to click to, because they
Yeah.
weren't even on campus, right?
Yeah.
And they weren't allowed to be on campus,
Right.
And
Well, we've been talking with Jeff Gephart, ladies and gentlemen, who's the superintendent out of Animas Schools, and we don't get out here enough. We love to come out to Animas. We always do. I mean, right now, like I said, we're going door to door talking to people about the services, and everybody's so friendly and so nice, and we always feel very welcome when we come to the school.
Yeah.
Jeff, so we appreciate that. You and your staff are awesome, top-notch people.
And just to
So
let
the
you know,
students,
we're
we
going to
really
be here.
appreciate it.
We're going to be here for homecoming.
oh, nice.
And we're going to
nice.
do
For
something.
the-
We're going to do something
Ralph.
out at halftime. I'm going to be out there at
Ralph will be
halftime
here.
with a big bag of footballs, and we're going to have kids picking footballs out. And if there's green on them, they're going to win money. And if you're there, we're going to have you pick one out and win triple money.
Okay, well,
So-
the good donation to the school right
Yeah,
there.
You got it. That's
It,
exactly right.
Speaking of homecoming, definitely appreciate you guys coming out. I understand you're going to be there for our tailgate party.
We're going to be there with the tent, but I don't think we're actually doing the tailgate because we don't want to get in the way of doing
Okay.
the food. We want the other people, we want them to do the food like they're normally doing and raising money that way.
Okay, so then you'll be there for halftime.
We'll be doing a
which is
halftime
great.
thing, yeah.
We
And
do
hanging
have,
out.
right, and we have our homecoming parade. So all the different classes are working on their floats right now. I mentioned how we're inviting alumni to go and paint the A
Yeah.
with
That's
us.
awesome.
We're doing a powder puff game this year. We're doing the Ironman volleyball, with the dance, all kinds of different things. It's going to be a lot of fun. And so homecoming week is going to be great. It's going to be great having you guys out there as part of it.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
We're looking forward to it.
We are. And Jeff, before we go, I don't think we got to ask you this the last time, but one of the things we like to do with our guests is a question of the day. And what we do is we have these ridiculous questions we ask, open-ended questions that we ask, and you don't know what the question is going to be, but you do have some control.
They're almost as bad as the trivia questions I was asking earlier, but
Almost.
a little bit easier to answer.
But I have 6 questions, Jeff, and all you have to do is pick a number between 1 and 6, and that is the question I will ask you.
Let's go 3.
Number 3. What are your 3 favorite smells?
Roasted green chili.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Hey, come on.
That's a no-brainer.
I love that one. Yeah. Ding, 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 ding.
My mom's apple pie,
Oh, that's a good one.
and the smell of my motorcycle.
Nice.
Ooh, with that oil.
The leather,
and the
exhaust,
oil.
the oil.
yeah.
I love it.
That's
Oh, yeah.
fire it up.
That's
oh
awesome.
my gosh, I love
Are
that.
you like rebuilding like a basket case engine in your living room like my friends used to?
So I actually 2 of them, and so my son and I have been building them for like 10 or 15 years. Even when he was a little guy, he was helping me, and so I do have 2 that we're finishing up. So my son and I, and I have another one that I
Nice.
ride as a daily rider. But yes, it's I love that
Nice.
smell.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so
Right?
Yeah.
distinct.
And
I
it's
love
great
that.
when
That's
the
a great
parts
smell.
get all over the place in your living room.
I saw a true story during COVID. I brought one of the bikes in. My son's in the military, so I brought one of the bikes in, and some kids were looking for a project to work on out in the shop, and so I told them, I said, I tell you what, I need to tear this bike down because we're going to paint it. And I want to do it before my son gets home from the basic training, or I forget what he was doing at the time, and I could be off on that. But he was gone somewhere, and I thought, so the kids, they wanted to do something like this. I said, all right, good. So they tore it all apart. 2 or 3 high school boys tore it all apart, and then COVID hit. and they were gone. So now, in true high school boy fashion, parts everywhere. Parts missing, parts in their backpacks, or God only knows.
You didn't need that nut. You didn't need that nut.
It looked important at the time.
I had to get this thing back together, and I got most of it back together. So I'm still looking for a couple of parts that we lost.
Has like the rear wheel fallen off or anything yet? So
Nothing
you're
real
okay,
important
you're okay.
missing, right?
Right.
Well, Mr. Gephart, Jeff, I appreciate you sitting down with us again and talking with us. We'll have to come do it again. Maybe we could talk about your bucket list.
Listen,
time.
it's a good one. I
want to get into that when we come back.
It's an ever-growing one. I do want to plug one quick thing, though. On the ballot this year in November, we do have a GO bond, a general obligation bond.
Right.
That would go towards funding for our facilities. And
So please vote
Gotta
yes.
have it. Please vote yes.
It's for every $1 that we're able to raise locally, the state's going to give us 9 more on top of that.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so
you gotta
it's
do
gonna-
it.
It's going to get us the big money that'll really help upgrade our facilities. Not new facilities, but upgrade our current facilities.
And that's
So I just
coming up in
wanna plug that
November.
In November, yes.
Please
Nice,
vote for
nice.
the GO bond, ladies and gentlemen, for
right.
Animas Schools. For my co-host, Ralph Score, and our special guest today, Animas Superintendent Jeff Gephart, I'm Bob Dahlstrom. Thank you for listening to Valley's Bits, Bytes, and Banter. We'll talk to you soon, everybody.